This poem is called Grandest Thoughts. I used to dream big, larger than my head, had the capacity to entertain, and it was all consuming, all encapsulating, all for nothing. All I needed was a happy home that had no dueling voices, so I could sit in silence, contemplating sure simplicity. Hello, everyone. It's James here. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Coffee Talk episode 3, and I'm so happy that that this is becoming a thing now. I really enjoy having these little chats about anything and everything. Really, it's just wonderful to be able to talk to you all, and for all of you to leave such lovely comments down below. So if you do enjoy these chats and you're not subscribed already, please do. Please leave a like and everything like that, and do all the call to actions. Absolutely wonderful stuff. So this video might be out later than usual because I unfortunately woke up late this morning. I woke up at 9 a.m. and normally I wake up at 8 a.m. So, as some of you may know, I have the luxury of being able to do everything from home. So, I don't have to do a daily commute or anything like that. So, I know I'm in a very privileged position there, and it helps me with living my very simple existence. Um, so yeah, basically months ago, I used to actually wake up in the afternoon. So I would go to bed at like 8 a.m. sometimes that late, and wake up at like 4 p.m., maybe even later sometimes. And yeah, I was in a really bad place then. Um, and this was only like maybe December, January time. I was ill in December because I foolishly went to do my Christmas shopping in person as opposed to doing it all online. So I subjected myself to all kinds of weird and wonderful germs, I imagine. But luckily, I'd had my flu jab, so I didn't catch anything too bad. And if I did get the flu, it was mitigated by the flu injection. So yeah, that really like sent my circadian rhythm into a tailspin, basically. And yeah, I ended up um, having a completely topsy-turvy routine. So I decided to set some goals for myself that were easy for me to attain. So I would set my alarm for a certain time. I would try and go to bed a little bit earlier every day. And then eventually I got to the point where I would be going to bed at 7, 8 p.m. and then waking up at 4, 5 a.m. And that was still a bit out of whack for me. So I set more goals for myself, and I went to bed a bit later, and then I got up a bit later, and now we've got to this point where I go to bed between 10 and 11, and I wake up between 6 and 8 a.m. most days. Obviously, today I needed a bit more sleep than normal, and we're all entitled to a lie-in sometimes, aren't we? So that kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about in the first instance, and that is smart objectives. Now, for those of you that work in education, smart objectives are quite important because they go into your lesson plans, and they're like a bedrock of what you need to do when you're teaching. So smart objectives are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant or reasonable, and time bound. So one of my most recent smart objectives was I actually took part in a 5K race a few months ago, and I clocked in at 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is, absolutely a long time of epic proportions. But hey, I did it. I finished the race, and that's all I needed. So to get to that point, I did some smart objectives. So the specificity of the objective was I wanted to get to 3 times a week doing 3 to 5 kilometers, and I used the time bound aspect of doing it for like 2 months. So you know I would get to 1 or 2 weeks of going out 1 times a week, and then a couple of weeks of 2 times a week, and then the final stretch was getting to do it 3 times a week, and now I go out at least 4 to 5 times a week. And that's like without that specific objective. So the specific part is important because if you are too vague with your objectives, then that can lead to a bit of, you can be quite nebulous with what you want to achieve. So if you're saying, hey, I want to run the London Marathon, that's kind of vague because you need to do a lot of training to get to that point, and it's also not reasonably attainable for you if all you do is, go on 500-meter walks every 2 weeks. So, yeah, you need to be specific about your goal, and it needs to be measurable as well. You need to understand that, you can't be too vague. You need to actually see your progress. So, when it came to doing something 3 times a week, that is measurable because you go out once, you go out twice, you go out thrice, and there you go. And then obviously it needs to be attainable, and going out 3 times a week for a walk is very attainable, I think. So to the R part of smart objectives, it's relevancy or reasonable. So you need the objective to be reasonable, and you need it to be relevant to what you want to do for your bigger goal. So my bigger goal was to do the 5K. So it was relevant for me to want to do 3 walks of 3 kilometers in a month or in 2 months. So there is that. And then the time bound aspect is you have to give yourself a window of time that is actually reasonable for you. You can't be like, right, I need to lose 14 pounds in a week. That's not a reasonable amount of time for you to lose that much weight. So what you can do instead is you can say, I want to lose 4 pounds, 4 to 8 pounds in a month. And that's at a reasonable pace of 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I hope that's clarified what smart objectives are. And yeah, because I had somebody ask me about smart objectives in the comments and in yesterday's coffee talk. So yes, I hope that's clarified a few things, and it certainly helped me because I was definitely a member of that all or nothing mentality, and that got me into a lot of precarious situations with my weight and my weight loss attempts. So if you think about it like this, that you've got 21 meals in a week. If you're eating 3 meals a day, 7 times a week, then 21. And if in my previous mindset, if I messed up one of those 21 meals, then the other 20 would just have like a domino effect, and I would just absolutely mess everything up. But now I'm thinking of it as it's just one meal in the week. I've had a blip, and I can just move on to the next meal and try and be better. Because I know we've all been there if we've been in weight loss attempts. You have a bad breakfast and it turns into a bad lunch and then a bad dinner because you think, well, I've done this now, so I might as well go the whole hog. And it doesn't have to be like that. So when you ditch the all or nothing mentality, it is very freeing because you realize that, there's 21 meals in a week, there's 24 hours in a day. You could have a blip for 1 to 2 hours in a day, and then you've got another 22 to play with. So just take heart in the fact that you don't have to have a bad day if you've had a bad hour. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about there. Now, I guess we should touch upon it. Foodie Beauty has returned, and I am looking for my flips. I seek them here, I seek them there, I seek them every flipping where. My flips are gone. So apparently Ms. Foodie Beauty is unwell. Bless her. And yes, this is actually I guess I completed a full tour de foodie when it comes to her cycle. So I saw the first bit where she was unwell, and she was like, oh, she was praying to her deity, asking for forgiveness or asking for the cravings to come back, which Allah was like, bet, I'll do it. So yeah, it's interesting to see that she actually does run like clockwork. It's quite fascinating in a way. And I didn't want to cover the live because it was like 3 hours long, and all she did was go and have a salad, which looked absolutely vile. Um, so yeah, apparently her blood sugar went up to 15, which means that something's going wrong. So she's taking 3 tablets a day, which is also very bad. I do wonder if she's talking to Dr. Google about these about taking these medications because the side effects of excess metformin are no joke, and you're dancing with the devil at that point if you're taking your excess metformin. So yes, I do wonder about what Foodie's trying to do, and if this is going to be the cycle, if she actually breaks this cycle and becomes a health queen, because being a health queen myself, we stand each other. So yeah, I'm not going to hold out any hope for her for being for suddenly having an epiphany and eating all the healthy food. Um, it's just one of those things that she's doing to garner sympathy. And it's if you look at my videos from last month when I first started covering Foodie Beauty, it's yeah, I had a lot of sympathy for her because I didn't really know what she was all about. And the hyperglycemic episode made me think about my hyperglycemia and how I used to feel. And as the month went on, I was like, she actually doesn't care. She actually doesn't care about herself because I took my hyperglycemia seriously, and I brought my hyperglycemia down to a point where now I can wake up, test my blood sugar, and it'll be between 5 and 6 every day. And then during the day, after 2 hours, it can get lower than 5. Um, so, I've gotten to a point where my blood sugars are well handled. And she obviously doesn't care. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the month of July. So Foodie Beauty has reappeared, unfortunately, and yeah, I don't really care, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know, don't really care. But on the concept of taking care of your diabetes, my blister on my small toe has actually fully healed already, which is marvelous. And I've been wearing my thicker socks with my walking boots, and that has helped immensely. I went out to vote yesterday in the UK elections, and the polling station was about 2 miles away, there and back, so a mile there and a mile back. Um, and yeah, I didn't feel anything. There was no pinching at the toes, which is what the boots were like initially. So I'm wondering if I'm using them enough that they're stretching out, and that's wonderful if that's the case, because then I can wear them more and potentially go on longer walks. Because I have been on a few longer walks previously. The longest walk that I've done, I think, was about 8 or 9 kilometers, something like that, and I had to walk from my GP back home because I thought, yeah, why not? And I got lost, and yeah, I went all around the houses and through forests, across rivers, and it was like, what was that? What's that film? Homeward Bound? Is that the one with the talking dogs? It was like that. It was like Homeward Bound, classic film. So now I can actually make purposeful walks where I actually know where I'm going. And it would be nice to do. It would be nice to do some long walks, some long trail walks, and obviously take you guys with me as well. So I'm probably gonna invest in a gimbal, which is one of those things where you can hold your camera or your phone, and it doesn't like do the shakiness when you're moving. So I think investing one of them would actually be really good for me. So I can't afford it yet, but yeah, eventually it's gonna happen. So I guess when I get my first YouTube paycheck, that'll be one of the first things that I'll buy is a gimbal. Um, so yeah, that'll be exciting, won't it? Take you out for walks in the forest. And every time I think of a forest, I think of the song "A Forest" by The Cure, and that is no bad thing. I tell you that. So I've got my coffee here. I haven't actually drunk any. Shall we have some now? Oh, that's lovely. It's lovely. It's still warm. So I just have your run-of-the-mill Nescafe. Um, I would like to try some different coffees. Hey, if it goes really well, might even get a coffee sponsorship. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think that'd be wonderful. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I hope you enjoyed today's coffee talk. Had quite a lot to talk about, which is nice. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoy your coffees or your drink of choice, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.